Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to my Blu-ray slash DVD library tour. And I think this is part 11, and I'm going to try to do everything in one video here. We'll see how it goes. And this is for the label Indicator. It's part of Powerhouse Films that started, the Indicator line, I think started around 2015, 2016. I didn't really come to it till I think about 2019, I think, when I first heard of it. So there were a number of things that had gone out of print since then, especially their box sets with the extra booklets and so forth, which I no longer or are no longer available, new and extremely expensive used. But yeah, here's an example of two of them. There was a box set that was I think it was a Harryhausen box set. Yeah. Um, and that had First Men in the Moon, and it was originally released in 1964. See, this is just a regular edition, no booklet. This would have been in a box set with other Harryhausen material, such as The Mysterious Island, which came out in 1961. This case is almost destroyed. But yeah, these don't have the booklets, which are things that I like. But I got these extremely cheap, so I'm happy with that at the moment. But it is nice to get the ones with the extras, like the booklet and so forth. And this was a nice box set, from what I understand. And these both are categories for, I think, the book to film, which I probably will at some point. Let's do some of the individual ones first of all. This is a newer one that I was able to get as their limited edition, and it's the 20th Century John Barrymore and Carole Lombard. It's screwball comedy. Uh, and that was put out in 1934 originally, and this has a nice sumptuous booklet with it, with essays and contemporary reviews. Sometimes they have in the booklets. It has a commentary. Commentary is by Farnan Smith. Farnan Smith Nathune. I remember it being pretty good. It was kind of weird because this was a film that I saw probably originally in the early '80s, and I detested John Barrymore in it. I really detested him. He was like chewing up the scenery. He was way over the top. But actually, and then I probably hadn't seen it for 30 years now. And when I got this, I rewatched it, and then all of us actually started seeing what he was doing, or I thought I knew what he was doing, and then when I listened to the extras and read the booklet and everything, I realized that's what he was doing. He was purposely playing it over the top. So it actually was good, and I enjoyed it because of Carole Lombard originally. And again, it was something that I wanted to revisit, and getting a good copy of it was that, and I'm glad I did. Here's a film, Time Without Pity, directed by Joseph Losey. Oh, the director of this. Oh, actually, let's back up here a bit, because they do have spine numbers on these ones. Mysterious Island is spine number 51, and First Men in the Moon is spine number 53. The 20th Century is spine number 208. And Time Without Pity, directed by Joseph Losey, is spine number 154. It's Michael Redgrave, Ann Todd, Peter Cushing, and Leo McKern. Rumpel. Not Rumpel in here, but it would eventually go on to play Rumpel. It's 1957. And I think this has, because of the Joseph McCarthy sort of witch hunts, so called, and the HUAC, there were a lot of American Hollywood people that came to England. I think that has a lot of that in here, and possibly even the director. I can't remember off the top of my head, but and I'm not even sure if I've seen this before, so this will be interesting to actually look at. Here's a couple Peter Cushing films. They're interesting films. They're not they're not the best sort of horror, that's for sure. They're not top shelf, I guess, horror. And this is Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Mike Raven in I, Monster. And this is 1971, so it's an Amicus production, and so it's, it's a B. It's definitely a B film. But it's, from what I remember, it's quite interesting. Again, I haven't watched this one yet. It's got Susan Jameson as well. It's screenplay by Milton Subotsky and directed by Stephen Weeks. Names are not familiar to me. For possibly, British horror fans of the 60s and 70s, it would be. And this is another Amicus production. It's Calvin Lockwood and Peter Cushing, directed by Paul Arnott, who is a little more well-known director. The Beast Must Die, and that's 1974. Yeah, it's again, it's one of these that are fun to watch, and this makes it all the worthwhile is the booklets of the essays, and there's critical response in it, so there's contemporary reviews, criticism. So I really like the booklets in these for that reason. One more here. This is a fabulous movie in many ways, and based on a really good book. Ministry of Fear. It's directed by Fritz Lang. It's very sort of film noirish and wet streets at nighttime photography outside. And this is 1944. And it's based on the novel by Graham Greene, and it's very good. And again, it has a booklet and everything and a commentary. So those are nice extra features. Now we go into some boxes. I think most. Oh, there's still some of there. Let's do all the individual ones first. A fabulous film. I do want to get the book for this before I rewatch it. It's Deborah Carr, Haley Mills, and John Mills, The Chalk Garden. It's a fabulous film, 1964. It's directed by Ronald Neame, and screenplay by John Michael Hayes. I haven't been doing the spine. Number's 180 for this one. Excuse me. And it's a fabulous film. I'm sure it's oh no, it's based on a play. That's right. I think this is The Chalk Garden is based on a play, not a novel. That's why I was trying to think. So yeah, so I may or may not. If I can get the play, that'll be good. And here's a really good film, well acted. It's directed by Anatole Litvak. It's Olivia de Havilland in The Snake Pit. Daryl F. Zanuck production. In 1948. It's a very good film, well acted. It's probably one of the best Olivia de Havilland roles, I think. But then again, I don't think I've seen every film that she's been in. But Here's one I definitely want to do a book to film about. It was a notorious book as well as a notorious film because of the book. No Orchids for Miss Blandish. It's directed by St. John L. Close. And it was filmed in 1948. Starring Jack LaRue, Hugh McDermott, Lyndon Travers, who I've really liked her. I like her acting. She's on the sorry, I'm trying to remember now. The Hitchcock film, Lady Vanishes. She's on there, and she was on a lot of films. So I really like her. And this is limited edition again, like with the booklet. So that was very nice to have. And I've already done this one, the book to film, To Sir with Love. Sidney Poitier, who died he died last week. Sadly, or a little more than a week ago, I guess it is now. Or was it? What's the date today? Yeah, about a week. Just over a week, I think. But this is a very good film. The screenplay is, it's written, produced, and directed by James Clavell, Shogun fame. Okay, well, let's go into some box sets. A great director that I enjoy, and I am interested in sort of watching all his films, sort of almost chronologically, and that's kind of what I'm interested in doing with a lot of the directors that I like, is to go through. And here's a box set. John Ford at Columbia, 1935 to 58. Little lesser known films. Let's see here. Let's get them out. Gideon's Way, Jack Hawkins, Diane Foster. Jack Hawkins is fabulous. This is 1958. Tyrone Power, Maureen O'Hara, and The Long Gray Line. It's in CinemaScope, 1955. And The Whole Town's Talking, Edward G. Robinson, 1935. The great Edward G. And Hurrah, I think it is. No, The Last Hurrah. What am I talking about? The Last Hurrah, Spencer Tracy, 1958. And these are limited. This is a limited edition, 3,120 of 6,000. They have sort of belly bands on them, to let you know. And this is Marlene Dietrich and Josef von Sternberg at Paramount, 1930 to 1935. This is a really nice box set, and it's got a nice booklet with it. It is almost 100 pages long, I think, with pictures and all sorts in it. And sorry, everything's sliding here. This has these are the digipacks in cardboard, which I really like. So it has a matte finish for them. And this is The Devil is a Woman, Lionel Atwell, Cesar Romero, Edward Everett Horton, and obviously directed by Josef von Sternberg in 1935. The Scarlet Empress, directed by Josef von Sternberg, John Loge, Sam Jaffe, and Louise Dressler. Louise Dressler is quite a character. 1934. Blonde Venus, Again, Marlene Dietrich, Cary Grant, and Herbert Marshall. And this is 1932. And one of my favorites, this is a fabulous film, Shanghai Express. I really like it. It has Anna May Wong on it. It has Warner Oland and Eugene Pallett. Warner Oland wound up playing Charlie Chan in a number, and for quite a few in the series. And this has Marlene Dietrich and Victor McLaglen. Victor McLaglen is a fabulous character actor, and this is Dishonored, 1931. And then Morocco, Gary Cooper, Marlene Dietrich, and Adolphe Menjou. And that's 1930, Morocco. Let's get everything back in here. Now we go for an ongoing series. They haven't announced a new box set of this, but I'm assuming there are, because I forget how many there are now. But these are this is volume 1 of Columbia Noir, and they are digipacks like the Marlene Dietrich ones, with a nice big sumptuous booklet with over 100 pages in it, and it's all film noir. Some known and some lesser known, but all very interesting. The lineup with Eli Wallach and Robert Keith and Warner Anderson. That was directed by it's the lineup. Trying to see who the director is. Directed by Don Siegel, quite a prolific film noir director. The Garment Jungle, Lee J. Cobb, Kerwin Matthews, Richard Boone, and Valerie French. And that's 1957. Directed by Vincent Sherman. Five Against the House, William Conrad, Kerwin Matthews, Kim Novak, Brian Keith, Guy Madison. 1955, directed by Phil Carlson. I do like these. I've said it over and over, but they're nice because they usually show the poster on the front, and it's, like I say, a matte finish. So it's not it's not glossy. It's nice. Drive a Crooked Road, Mickey Rooney and Diane Foster. That's 1954, by Richard Quinn. And Glen Ford, Nina Falk, James Whitmore, and Barry Kelly in The Undercover Man. 1949, directed by Joseph H. Lewis. Escape in the Fog, Otto Kruger, Nina Falk, and William Wright. 1945, directed by Oscar Bodeker Jr. An interesting director. His westerns are quite interesting. And sort of a forgotten director these days, I think. Or it seems to be, anyway. Or not maybe forgotten, but not on everybody's tip of their tongue, that's for sure. And again, another belly band. This one is limited 2,141 of 6,000. Put that back on. And this is box set number 2. And I just do like these. Like I say, it's just a picture on the front of them, and another sumptuous booklet with Glen Ford on the front, and just essays regarding each film. Murder by Contract, Vince Edwards, Philip Pine, Urshel Bernardi. Written by Ben Simcoe, directed by Irving Lerner. 1958. Tight Spot, Ginger Rogers, Edward G. Robinson, Brian Keith. Edward G. again, and Ginger Rogers. 1955. Directed by Phil Carlson. Affair in Trinidad, Rita Hayworth, Glen Ford. 1952. Directed by Vincent Sherman. The Mob. Broderick Crawford. Betsy Bueller. Richard Kyle. Ollie Hewitt. And Mary Crowley. Cruel, cunning, cold as ice. Nothing like it since the Killers. The Mob. 1951. Directed by Robert Parrish. 711 Ocean Drive. Edmund O'Brien. Joanne Drew, Otto Kruger. Barry Kelly, and Dorothy Patrick. And directed by Joseph H. Newman. Filmed under police protection, so it says. And that's 1950. And Glen Ford and Janice Carter, Barry Sullivan in Framed. 1947, directed by Richard Wallace. Get these in there without destroying it. And this belly button, it's limited number 3046 of 6,000. And then now we're on to volume 3. And there's the cover without. And again, a booklet, a nice heavy square bound booklet, and very film noirish pictures on them as well. And this is City of Fear, with Vince Edwards, John Archer, Patricia Blair, Stephen Rich. Directed by Irving Lerner, and not that sort of well known as much, nor the actors. The Sniper, Adolphe Menjou, Alfred Franz, Gerald Moore, Mary Windsor, and Frank Fallon. Directed by Edward Dmytryk, a very good director. The Sniper, 1952. Between Midnight and Dawn, Mark Stevens, Edmund O'Brien, Gail Storm. And that's 1950, directed by Gordon Douglas. Convicted, Glen Ford and Broderick Crawford. Millard Mitchell, Malone Reed. No, sorry. Dorothy Malone. And that's 1950, and it's directed by Henry Levine. This is The Dark Past, William Holden, Nina Falk, and Lee J. Cobb. 1948, directed by Rudolph Mattei. And Johnny O'Clock. That one's sort of been reprinted or on video a lot. And that's Dick Powell, Evelyn Keyes, Lee J. Cobb, Ellen Drew, Nina Falk, John Kellogg, and directed by Robert Rawson, 1947. So that was number 3. And the limited belly band says 980 of 6,000. And then the 4th and newest one, the most recent one, again, fabulous. It's Fred McMurray. And yeah, just all great film noir shots. The brothers Rico, and starring Richard Conte, Diane Foster, Catherine Grant, Larry Gates, James Darren, Harry Bolivar, and directed by Phil Carlson, 1957. Chicago Syndicate, Dennis O'Keefe, Abby Lane, Paul Stewart, and Xavier Cugat. 1955, directed by Fred F. Sears. And A Bullet is Waiting. But and after the kiss, a bullet is waiting. Gene Simmons, Rory Calhoun, Stephen McNally, and Brian Ahern. 1954, directed by John Farrell. This one is loose. Oh, it's got a broken thingy. It must. Oh, there we go. Pushover, The Story of Temptation. Fred McMurray, Phil Carey, and Kim Novak. Directed by Richard Quinn, 1954. Walk East on Beacon, starring George McMurray, Finley Curry, Virginia Gilmore. Directed by Alfred Werker, 1952. Walk a Crooked Mile, Lewis Hayward, Dennis O'Keefe, Louise Alberton, Carl Esmond, directed by Gordon Douglas, 1948. And that's the most recent one. And a lot of these, I'm sure I've seen them in the past, but I just don't remember. So when I get around to going through these, this will be a bit of a pleasure to look at the Columbia Noir. There's been many sets that have been put out over the years of noir films, and there's a Fox Noir series that was done on DVD that's just quite nice. But I think they're mostly out of print now, or very expensive, or both. This is limited to 6,000 again, but this is number 3,423. And yeah, that was Kim Novak on the front. And then the last, but not least, box set is a more recent one. It's Mae West in Hollywood, 1932 to 1943. And again, this is a nice box set and booklet, nice large booklet as well. The usual pictures and descriptions and essays on each film. This is The Heat's On, A Heat Wave of Laugh and Rhythm. Starring Mae West, Victor Moore, William Gaxton, Lester Allen, Alan Dinart and Lloyd Bridges, and it's Xavier Cugat and his orchestra. We saw him before. 1943, directed by Gregory Ratoff. My Little Chickadee, Mae West and W.C. Fields, together for the first time. Joseph Kalia, Dick Foran, Donald Meek, Ann Nagel, and Fuzzy Knight. And 1940, directed by Edward Klein. Mae West in Go West, Young Man. Warren William, Randolph Scott, Alice Brady, Elizabeth Patterson, Lyle Talbot. Directed by Henry Hathaway, which is another great director. Westerns, big Western director, he was a very good director. And this is 1936. Oh, wait a minute. I thought it said directed by Henry Hathaway, but then it says here A. Edwards Sutherland. I'm not sure now. A. Edward Sutherland. I don't know if that's a misprint. I'd have to look. Oh, there's two films on here. There's two films on here. That's why, Go West, Young Man, and Every Day's a Holiday. And Every Day's a Holiday is directed by A. Edward Sutherland, who was briefly married to Louise Brooks. And so that's the dates of those is Go West is 1936 and Every Day's a Holiday is 1937. And then Going to Town, Mae West, and then Klondike Annie, so there's two on this one as well. Going to Town is directed by Alexander Hall and produced by Adolf Zucker, and so is Klondike Annie, Adolf Zucker, directed by Raoul Walsh, who was another very good director. 1935 and 1936. And Mae West in I'm No Angel, and Belle of the 90s. I'm No Angel is 1933, directed by Wesley Ruggles, and that's with Cary Grant. I think that's the one that says, "Come up and see me sometime." 1934 is The Belle of the 90s, directed by Leo McCarey, great director. Now, there's two on this one as well. Night After Night, George Raft, Constant Cummings, Win Gibson, Mae West, and Alison Skipworth. Directed by, it's a story by Louis Bromfield. Oh, interesting. He wrote a very good film with, I think, was it Tyrone Power and Myrna Loy called The Rains Came. I really like it. Great big book. I'd like to read that again. But and directed by Archie Mayo, and then She Done 'Em Wrong. Oh, that might be the one that she says, "Come up and see me sometime." Yeah, I think that's it, with Cary Grant, Owen Moore, and Noah Barry, and Gilbert Rowland, 1933. So there you go. Sorry, I haven't, like this one. Most of these, a lot of these films, I've seen them, but it's so long ago, and they haven't been. I haven't re-seen them in probably 30 years, 25, 30 years at the very least. So I'm a little hesitant on details of them because I haven't gone through and rewatched these yet. which I have lots of time to do, and will be doing it. Now, this is limited edition. This is 3,611 of 6,000. So that's it for my indicator set. Next, we'll be going on to Kino Lorber. Blu-rays mostly. Some, and that's sort of in behind here. You can, well, anyway, I can't reach it. So yeah, so there you go. I hope everybody's enjoying this, but take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time.